Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing, it can be edifying. And I want to go into 2nd Ezra 16 chapter, man, because we're definitely living in these times right here. You know, we're in that moment where even then shall evils grow upon the earth. All right, and that'll be probably what I titled this video. But going over these couple verses, all right, you know, especially going back since COVID, you know, things have, you know, that was a whole global pandemic. You know, they shut things down. That was a test run. All right, they was testing compliance, and now they're about to come down with the real thing. You know, they're about to force you people's hand. They're firing people. You know, people aren't going to have money to pay their bills. All right. Or if you are working, inflation is going to eat up your check. All right. So you think you people are in good case. You think you're good. All right. But it's about to get worse before it even gets worse. All right. So let's read into this, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? All right. And Ezra was given this vision. And even he, all right, who clearly is covered by the Lord. You know, he's dealing with an archangel. All right, even he is like, damn, woe is me. Woe means destruction. Like, damn, I'm about to be fucked up. You know? Verse 18, it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Does this sound like a time of peace and prosperity? No. All right, so if anybody coming to you saying we're in a time of peace, we're in a time of, abundance as far as in the world sense, no, man. All right, abundance for the elect, yes. Abundance for you peons, no. It says the beginning of the famine and great death, the beginning of war. See, all right, you had the Ukraine war. All right, now you got this war with America and Iran. All right, and they have Palantir advising them that the draft should not be voluntary, basically. And they're going to listen to this Palantir because Palantir is the new war machine, man. You know, it's able to generate targets for them to strike, man. And Esau is already bloodthirsty. Now he on autopilot. We're in the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. All right, and we're seeing that as well, man. You know, these elites, man, they're they're getting a little rattled right now because they've lost the plot. All right, he has lost the plot, man, and I'm gonna keep going into that. All right, how he set everything up for people to live. You know, you go to college, you take out your student loan debt, you get your house, it only worked for so long because you can only operate a system off of debt for so long. So now even the powers are standing in fear. The beginning of evils, right? Bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And well, hey, that's a rhetorical question because we're going to trust in the Lord, man. Like we've always been doing. Because the same power that's bringing this is also going to be the power that allows for us to escape. Verse 19, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right, so they're still not going to get right. Our people, they're going to be dealing with calamity, dealing with destruction, dealing with Esau on their ass, and they still not going to want to turn. Some of them. And that's why they're going to be put down. Verse 21, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, right? Victuals, your goods, your services. You know, you can go to McDonald's and get a human meat burger for $2, $3. But even those prices are getting out of hand. You know, and then the average person can't cook. You know, they eating fucking kids' cuisines and shit, man. You know, when it's cheaper to get you a pack of chicken breasts, you know, not chicken breast, but even chicken thighs, man. You get some chicken thighs, which you got to clean them, but they make them cheaper because there's less processing they've done to them, man. You know, you got to get that sinew, you got to get that, you know, get all the excess off of there. All right, but that's good, good chicken thighs, man. You can cut that up, you can put it in different things. All right, but people aren't thinking like that. You know, they're all on DoorDash and shit, paying for DoorDash, going out to eat. That's all they're doing. They've become dependent on the system, man. And Esau wanted it that way. Verse 21 again, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth. Grow upon earth. So like it. Let me read that again. It says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. Sword. All right. Yeah, who's the sword, man? Esau's ass. You know? It says in Ezekiel that a sword is sharpened. You know? Should you then make mirth? It says it's sharpened to give into the hand of the slayer. That's Esau, man. That's his devil. Because the Lord created him to be the sword, man. And he created him for this purpose here. He about to be a whooping stick for the Lord upon you knucklehead niggas. It says sword, famine. All right. And they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with famine. Because how can you be proud during the famine, man? At least when the sword, you get chopped down or you get shot. You know, you back in the spirit world if you die. To die of famine, that's a slow, painstaking death. It says, sword, famine, and great confusion. Hey, and when I think about this great confusion now, I'm thinking about this AI because, you know, they going crazy with this AI. Even within the government and shit. You know, these AI-generated videos that's causing confusion. And that's why we stick to prophecy, man. Damn what the world is saying. What is prophecy saying? What's actually happening? Verse 22, it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. There's going to be many people that starve to death. That is literal. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Those that might have excess, you know, you got Esau that's been doomsday prepping. Said the sword going to get their ass, man. You're not going to be able to escape the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. The Lord has declared it, and the Lord's words do not go out void, man. So this is where we are. Everybody think they think they're so good. You know, it's getting warmer. All right, these women they taking their clothes off. Okay, and this isn't a theory. This is fact. Go outside. You know, you see the Israelite woman, her ass cheeks hanging all out her fucking skirt and shit, man. All right, you supposed to be a princess. You supposed to adorn yourself in modest apparel. All right, damn what these heathen are doing. They're heathen. Our women are supposed to be held to a higher standard, just as our men are supposed to be held to a higher standard. But both of their ass are making mockery, man. And the Lord doesn't like that. So we're in the times where people are going to be starving to death. We're in a time where people are going to get shot to death like that Jake that shot up his kids, man. That was a spirit created for vengeance. And although, you know, that sounds like a tragedy, all right, those spirits within those children are ancient, man. They've been here before. Reincarnation is biblical. All right, the Lord doesn't see as man seeth, man. The Lord said he kills and he makes alive. He wounds and he heals. Neither is there any that can deliver out his hands, man. The Lord put the spirit on their own father to take them all out, man. Then shot the baby mama and the girlfriend, and they're the only ones that's still alive. The Lord wanted them. The Lord didn't want them back in the spirit world. He left their ass down here to suffer, man. Hey, because more than likely, them children, hey, that was judgment on her ass too. Because, hey, best believe, man, paternity fraud is big here. All right, them might not have been his children. All right, we ain't gonna sit here and act like, you know, he just social monster and shit like that. Yeah, that's fucked up. All right, but what about all this paternity fraud that be going on and the system that aids these women in paternity fraud? Esau set that shit up, man. You gotta pay, nigga. All right, but hey, you damn Israelite women, you know, you nigga women, you know, both of the northern and the southern kingdom. All right, you've been living wonton. You've been trying to live by Esau's playbook. And the Lord has been seeing that. He's been clocking you. Like you say, you clocked it. The Lord been clocking you. He's seen how you've treated the Israelite man and how you treated the Edomite man. He knows your innermost thoughts. He knows the disdain you have for the Israelite man. He not about to let your ass off the hook because you a fucking woman. See, the Lord about to get everybody, man. Everybody, every idle word that man shall speak, he shall give account therefor in the day of judgment. All right, the Lord knows your innermost thoughts. He knows your sentiment toward him and toward his men. And the Lord's about to reward everybody accordingly. So I just wanted to cover that through the Spirit. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Makakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.